Hey guys, welcome back to Rue Morgue TV. I am executive editor Andrea Subasati, and Rue Morgue 198 is on stands now. It's the Jan-Feb 2021 issue. A lot of great stuff inside, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the end of this episode, so stay tuned.
What's up, everybody? My name is Yasmina, and thank you for joining me on this episode of The Rewind Zone here on Rue Morgue TV. And tonight we're going to be talking about Haunted-ween. Haunted-ween came out in 1991. It was directed by Doug Robertson, and it's the only movie this man has ever done. And right off the bat, horrible graphics means for a great B movie. Haunted-ween's main character is a boy named Eddie Berber. At the beginning of the movie, he's a child and he's working the door for a haunted attraction, taking people's tickets, and he notices a very pretty girl and is all like, oh. You know what 12-year-old boys would react to seeing a pretty girl. He's wearing this sweet mask. It's got bright orange fluorescent hair. Everybody always comments on it too. They're like, nice mask. It's like, gee, I wonder if he's gonna do something devious while wearing a mask throughout the rest of the movie. Eddie finds the pretty girl in the house and she's lost. So he is leading her to the way out, and she gets super scared and she willfully leans back into a stake. Like, this bitch fucking killed herself. There's no way that that was an accident. Like, she was just like, oh. And all of a sudden, she's got a fucking stake through her chest. And then Eddie's logical approach is to chop her head off with a machete, because that makes sense. So cut to 20 years later, and Eddie is living with his mama, and she has a heart attack and dies. So he takes her corpse and puts it in his truck and says, we need to go home now. There's a frat party going on. There's a lot of frat parties in this movie. And there's one scene where a guy spills beer on a girl's chest. And if it were me, I mean, I would definitely slap the shit out of this motherfucker for being a chauvinistic asshat. But again, don't waste the beer. Come on. Wait a line. So, of course, like, the douchiest jabroni is the president of this frat.
Brothers, little sisters, how are we?
And he wants to take his super hot girlfriend outside for, you know, sexy time. And he tells his friend, like, I'll be back in 10 minutes. And he looks at her and he looks back and he's like, make it 20. So they go outside and having a conversation during the worst elevator music I've ever heard. But then there's a really funny boat scene, and there's your gratuitous tit shot. So this frat are running out of money, probably because they spent it all on kegs because there's so many goddamn frat parties in this movie. So they come up with an idea where they want to throw a fundraiser / haunted house called Fundraiser for Hellraiser. And during this conversation, of course, a party is happening at the same time, and the worst band ever is playing outside. However, I actually am pretty impressed with how many extras they got for this movie. There's tons of extras and people in this movie just like partying it up and dancing to this terrible, shitty band. I'm actually curious if they got paid. I bet you they did not get paid. So Eddie shows up to the front door, and it's like a POV, and he's wearing a mask, and he tells the door guy, hey, there's this cool abandoned house just down the street. That's where you should have your haunted house fundraiser. And the dude's like, that place has been closed for 20 years. And he's like, I have a key. Here you go. No questions asked. Perfect.
I hope you make lots and lots of money. Good luck, brother.
This movie was definitely filmed in the southern states because a lot of them have that Louisiana accent, but this guy sounds like if Foghorn Leghorn hasn't hit puberty yet.
Man, what is her problem?
I don't know.
And then there's an awesome montage of all the frat people and their friends organizing the house for the haunted attraction, and there's an actual Haunted-ween song that was written for the movie. It's very like upbeat, like get ready for the show. And one of my favorite characters is like you see him for 2 seconds and he's like this dad drinking beer. He's just chugging this beer. It's amazing.
In a haunted house on a Haunted-ween. It's the biggest party that's ever been.
So that night, all the friends decide to sit around a campfire and tell ghost stories. And the girl, who is the daughter of the sheriff, knows the story that happened 20 years ago. So she tells the story, and at the end, when she talks about how the girl got her head cut off, one guy is like, speaking about head. So that guy and his girlfriend go out towards the lake to fuck, and classic slasher shot of the killer watching the couple undress, planning his next move, and he totally stabs the boyfriend right through the neck. It's pretty sweet, and then he snaps the girlfriend's neck, so they're dead. The haunted attraction is actually pretty cool. There's like a torture room. There's a crazy killer doctor room. There is a girl outside, and Eddie, he sneaks up behind her and he picks her up by her vagina and like lifts her body and knocks her head off of a branch, rendering her unconscious. So then we're at the final kill room where Eddie is actually killing the people, but the audience think that it's just part of the show. This room is actually pretty fucking sweet because there's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Pumpkinhead cardboard cutout. His rotting mom is there. He slices the back of a girl's neck. He knocks this one guy's head off with a bat, and the audience are like, yeah, woo! They have no idea that it's real murder. The duct tape scene is actually pretty gruesome. The girl is just duct taped to a wall, and he's like slicing her arms and her belly with an X-Acto knife. It's actually pretty gory. It's sweet. But I'd have to say another favorite part of mine is the Dahmer dad dude. He's got these sweet glasses and a mullet and a mustache, and he's really into watching people getting murdered. And then when they finally discovered that it's really happening, that like he's actually killing people, the reactions are so troll too. Like, oh my God, he's really killing them. I love bad movies.
Oh my God, he's really killing them!
The ending of this movie is fucking hilarious. So Eddie goes on a killing spree in his raper van. He takes his mask off and he looks like Merle Haggard. And then the jabroni frat guy shoots the gas tank with the shotgun and the van explodes, but it's still driving on fire. And then the movie ends, and then that fucking song plays, and it's all like, Haunted-ween, are you ready for the show? It's like, what? What? It's acceptable, though. It's all right. Thanks again for watching The Rewind Zone here on Rue Morgue TV, and stay spooky, but don't forget, be kind, rewind, or else Eddie Bauer, Eddie Berber, whatever the fuck his name is gonna come after you. So don't go peeing in the woods by yourself. Just common sense. Stay safe.
In a haunted house on a Haunted-ween.
Hey guys, welcome back. So as promised, here is your sneak peek into issue 198. The cover story is on horror films from the Middle East because The Vigil came out and it blew me away. I also really enjoyed The Night. Those are both out from IFC Midnight, and I've got coverage in here as well as a sidebar on a bunch of other awesome contemporary horror films from the Middle East. We've also got a feature on Brian Trenchard Smith, who has recently combined all the knowledge and hilarious anecdotes from close to 50 years in the B-movie trade in a tell-all memoir that is really hilarious. We've got that covered in here. Suicide Club and Cairo are both turning 20 this year. And then we've got our annual RIP 2020 Year in Review feature. And I know 2020 is the kind of year that we'd like to forget, but there were some good things. There were some highlights, and we've got them all contained right here. So be sure to check out this issue. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Haunted-ween, it came out in 1991.
Fuck you, eh?
Oh, have I ever tried a Kentucky accent? No, I don't know if I could do that.